And very welcome to this here episode of the WAKE movement. We are specifically speaking about the Florida Lottery's Mega Millions winning jackpot and how it is, you'd have to be a crackpot to believe that this is organic. Okay, when it comes to $1.58 billion, one of the biggest jackpots ever, there's going to be some tomfoolery involved, perhaps. Let's look into it. Secret societies, such as the Masons, like to leave their signatures, their symbols scattered throughout their buildings, the systems, social structures, Hollywood, art, the like. So I knew some stuff was going to go down. So in playing the Lotto, I said, well, they're going to have to leave their signature on this one because they like to show you who's in charge. Mind you, this the biggest third party to ever be in existence, besides the left and the right, the Republican, the Democrats, the anti-Masonic Party. For mentioning the name Masonry in this video, I'll have a banner at the bottom that will take you to a Wikipedia article to show you what they want you to have, to think. Whenever a banner comes up on the bottom of a video, ding, 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 that should ring a bell. So what I did, knowing that, I went through and I just picked the most Masonic, Illuminati, Kabbalah, esoteric numbers that I know. And they would make it obvious. And they would either, all the numbers would be low or high. So just to show you that they're messing with you, like what's the chances out of 70 numbers that all of them are going to be under half, 35? So I went through, picked the numbers. I did not get them all on one ticket, but I have them $10 worth is what and so 13, 33, 32, and we'll go through. What were those winning lotto numbers, my friends? 13. Why Friday the 13th spell doom for the Knights Templar? 13. We have 13 original colonies. Osiris was chopped up into 14 parts. His phallus, which is the obelisk in the middle of Washington, D.C., Rome, and London, the three heads, religion, banking, and military. For the Illuminati. The Illuminati, the Bavarian Illuminati, a real thing. Started together with a converso Jewish person to the Jesuit order, left the Jesuit order, was recruited by a Rothschild to start the Bavarian the Illuminus. They're illuminated too. They have the gnosis, the knowledge, and they use all this Egyptian symbolism. And the story from the Masons is that when the Hebrew people left Egypt, they took with them their mystical sacred teachings. We have the number 13 is the first number, or I think they just put them in order. And then 14 being the Powerball number. Osiris's body was originally chopped up into 14 pieces. They only found 13. There was 13 cities along the Nile. and they correlate with the Milky Way and the bright stars that you see along it. 13 major Egyptian cities on the Nile. Memphis, we name our places these. They try to do that with the major river that runs through America, the Mississippi. Boy, I'm the hippest tap dancer on this side of the Mississippi. This guy, I was thinking the same thing. AboveTopSecret.com. Powerball lottery, Masonic manipulation, or honest play? Good question. This guy says they select the winning numbers. Why wouldn't they? Why do men join Freemasonry? To win the lotto? No. Yeah, so we already have 13 and 14 big numbers. We have our 13 stars fashioned into a seal of David. Where's this show up? Where does it show up, my friends? How about on something that we all have inside of our freaking wallets, and in front of us on every placard? Oh, we just have just a straight up. And there's a country that where Kabbalah comes out of on our dollar bills, bro. Oh man. And so this is a 3-pointed star, or a 3-pointed triangle, which is the masculine, like a phallic, of fire. Pyramid means a place of fire. Fire and air, the elements. And then the feminine, the chalice, the sheath to the sword, going down, another 3-pointed figure, 3-sided shape, totaling 6. So we have 3 to the 3. Do we have a 33 in here? We do. And we have 33 degrees of Freemasonry. But some rites only have 32. Do we have 32 up here, my friends? 32 and 33. Does happen to be picked right next to each other's. 32nd degree Freemasonry in the Scottish Rite. It's the highest. But then one offers the 33rd degree. Outstanding in the Scottish Rite. We have 33 degrees, 33 vertebrae on our spine. Jesus dies at the age of 33. We have the double-headed eagle. We have the Star of David as the Mason seal, the star going up. The compass makes a circle, which is actually feminine. And the square is at a 90-degree angle, which is Mars, masculine. The compass is at a 60-degree angle. 6 is Venus. 9 is Mars. The 6-9 is the Mars and Venus together symbol. And also the symbol for the sign of Cancer of the zodiac at the summer solstice. So 33, 32, 13, and 14. Osiris, chopped up into 14 pieces, scattered across the country. The 14th had been eaten by a fish in the Nile. The 14th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which came from Egypt, just like their secret traditions, means fish. Nun. Mem, before that, the 13th letter is, which equals 40 in gematria, is water. Cleansing. They had to go be cleansed and purified for 40 years in the desert after going through water. Going out in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. We have Isis, who is also associated with the number 13 because she goes around and she collects 13 in pieces. This relates to the 13 months of the lunar calendar. The moon is always feminine. Isis and the number 13. They like to attack Isis on the 13th, the 13th, the 13th. Because they like to sacrifice the sacred feminine. At least 13 people killed in the ISIS raid. 13 in Shia. 13th day of the month of Rahab in the lunar calendar. It's a total of 1 prophet and 12 Shia imams. It's 13 is Jesus and 12 disciples. 13 is King Arthur and his 12 knights of the round table. 13 is Ophiuchus, the serpent bear, who stands above the constellation, which is what you want to stand outside of the zodiac, the wheel, the spinning wheel. Here's a picture of Ophiuchus. He stands on top of Scorpio. Scorpio's in the zodiac. See, he's on top of the zodiac. He has a serpent in one hand and the head in the other, the tail in one hand, the head in the other. And it has to do with rising up the Kundalini energy, or in Hebrew, in Kabbalah, known as Shekinah, the fiery serpent that guards the tree of life. The tree of life, your nervous system going up your spine into your brain, which carries the sacred chrism, the cerebral spinal fluid. Your sperm is the fish in the waters, that is mime, the waters of sexual world, controlled by the moon. The moon is the stone of the Masons. The perfect cube is the mind. Now, what other numbers do we have going on here, my friends? We have the number 19 and 20. Other two numbers right next to each other, suspicious. 19 is the letter Kuf in Hebrew. It is, we had COVID-19, COVID, or Corona, the coronavirus. The coronavirus, the 19th letter of the tarot, 19th card of the tarot. The tarot is lined up with the Hebrew alphabet. The 19th letter is the sun, the corona. And if you worship Saturn, who is Satan, who is the XX symbol, which is 20, that's the sigil of Saturn. I use it in my Wake movement logo to tap into the good energies of Saturn, which is powerful. He's in charge of death and life. It's the high priestess as well. It's the third Sephiroth on the tree of life, which is called Hokmah, but it's also Banah. It's mysteries. Well, here's the 19th card of the tarot, the Sun. And then the 20th card in 2020, Judgment XX, which is the letter Resh in Hebrew, meaning poor, evil, and head. Kuf means a monkey. Stupid monkey. Kuf is not, it's the K is what they call the Kalipot, which is the tree of death, as opposed to the tree of life. The Kliptof are the Goyim, who are not part of the chosen. This rabbi goes through it. I recommend you do. The Kuf represents death and negative thought, speech, and action. Now you could transform that evil into good, which is about tikkun olam, which is gathering the sparks that from the emanations of God, the yods, and gathering them. So there's 20, which is judgment. It has the trumpet. In JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I happen to be watching right now because they put so much of this symbolism of Kabbalah into anime. They do. Interesting. The 2020, the XX, is this 3 and the 3 coming together to make our 6-sided cube, or X, the sigil of Saturn, which is the black cube, which is Banah, which is the perfected cube of when we go in our mind. It represents fertility, new beginnings, and growth because it's a sex symbol. Just like I happen to be a sex symbol. It's associated with Freya, from whence we get Friday. Ingu's images. There's the XX on top of each other. It's pretty cool. X is a seal. X, a prop, a bow, a serpent, a cross. It's a 24th letter, which has like an idea of completion, also equals 6, 2, 4, 6. Bombard me with ads. Shout out to Wisdom Tavern. Quench your thirst with a sip of knowledge. Sate your hunger with the flavor of wisdom. Gosh, they nail you with the... It's also associated with Samek, S in the Hebrew alphabet, which is a symbol of a serpent or dragon or seal or completement or shield or seal. It's also the Ouroboros, the snake, serpent eating its own tail, represents the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Serpent always represents wisdom, which is a Gnostic interpretation of the tree of life, eating the apple from the tree of knowledge, gnosis. The woman does it. It's also the symbol for Tav, or X, or cross. Tav is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is 22. There is no 23rd. We're in the year 23 now. They started this all off in 2001 with the one is the magician card. And is the magician card and 9/11. There's a magician behind the tower card, people falling out. Tarot. Guy Mark Passio does good stuff on this. Like an Illuminati card game, they had lots of this stuff played out. There's a magician number 1. As above, so below, which is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, which is what that means. Oh, brother. Hey, brother. Dun, 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 dun. Let's just look up occult symbolism in 9/11. And they don't want you to know this stuff. That's the towers of Joachim and Boaz, the Twin Towers, which is the towers of Solomon's Temple, which is the Kabbalistic tree of life. The High Priestess card. Right in front of our faces. Their symbolism will be the downfall of them. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. They do whatever they want. No one can do shit. What other numbers? So we just went through all 13, 19, 20, 32, 33, 14, all highly occult numbers. The only ones that they're missing is 93, which is the salutation in Thelema, or 39, the opposite of it. So you can't do that with all numbers. 26, 29, 37, 49 is 7 times 7. 63, not so much. 22 is actually a pretty big Kabbalistic number. It's the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It was the red number for both of them. 13 winning. 13 winning. No numbers there. Just say you can't. There's a jackpot. Those numbers really don't have much meaning. 6, the 6-pointed star, but 21 is 7 3 times, which could be looked into. But 30, no. 34, no. 37, no. 42, not really. So you can't do that with all the numbers like I just did. 914, 98. Can't really do much with that. But those numbers 13, 19, 20, 32, 33, and then 14 as the number 1. That's finding the phallic. It's also our chakras, the 7 visible heavenly luminaries from the moon out to Saturn, split in 2, which is the androgynous being 7, Adam Kadmon, being split into 2, male and female, and 14. So you bring them together, you balance them together into the androgynous being, which is marrying the feminine side to you, the masculine if you're a woman. So, my friends, pretty much just Went through all I wanted to show you. Our world is run by secret societies, which were started, which all have their root, just like Christianity and Islam. Freemasonry has its root in Judaism. They're builders of the temple. Look at the XX there, bright as day. And then 2 bars on each side is 9/11. Let's just look at flag of Israel. Israel was started by these occultists. There's the bars. But if you turn it right side up, you have a bar, which is a 1, an X, which would be 1010. But if you put a 1 before it, it's a Roman numeral 9. And you put a 1 after the X, that's an 11 after the 10. 9/11 because it's not 10. It skips God, Yod, which is 10. And it goes from Kaf to 11. 9 and 11 are the other more difficult numbers in Hebrew, Kabbalah. So, my friends, 9 is also the number of Mars, which is destruction, and then 11 to the towers, which is also the High Priestess card, which is Tav. The secret to the High Priestess is that she is the 22nd letter Tav, which is the temple. She's number 2 and number 22. All right, guys, that's I'm just gonna wrap it up. I love you all very much. Thank you for being here. And the Lotto is a total hoax. I bet you they give away very little to schools, actually. And I thought gambling was like illegal. This has been legal forever. No one ever wins it. It takes advantage of poor people. I see them in front of me at the gas station always when I have somewhere to go. Some lady ahead of me is doing Lotto. But one day this guy did come up in a freaking Bentley and bought a bunch of scratch-off tickets, and he had a whole method. And on the back of his car, and he said he's won thousands of dollars. That's how he got his Bentley. And on the back of his car, he had the square and compass. Coinky dinky? I think not. Signing out. WakeMVMT.org.